Let's take a trip down memory lane and look at the last 4 years of the Talking Hedge, some of the ridiculousness and the evolution of it, and where we're going to be going next year. It's going to be the 5th and final season. Then I'm moving on to the Green Rush, produced by Pro Cannabis Media, and doing a lot less videos. So the interviews you will see, they'll be live. That's just less editing for me, but fewer videos. So fewer reports, maybe just like once a month, whatever. And then maybe I'll do more than that, maybe once a week on the Green Rush. Not really sure yet. We started the podcast in the spare bedroom. Then we built a podcast studio, perfect timing during COVID. We've done it outside in the backyard. And now we're back home doing it in the garage. But it all kind of got started when I went to Puerto Rico, saw what the advantages were and how that could really kind of change the game. So what I learned is that Puerto Rico is the only place in the world you can go as an American or American business and not be forced to pay income tax. So if you live and work overseas, you still have to pay the U.S. federal government. It's the only country outside of one other place, tiny little island off Africa. So we are the only place that charges our citizens to work no matter where they're at, giving CBD companies an opportunity to go and work there and really blow away their competition. So I found that fascinating, and I wanted to get on a podcast, and people are like, no, that's pretty nerdy. We're not going to do that. A buddy of mine, guy that I met in the industry, Steve Kaminsky, had a podcast called Baked and Awake. And in 2018, I went to Vegas, and he asked me to get some interviews, whatever, talk to people. That's really kind of what jump started it. So every time I go to Vegas, it's kind of the kickoff to the new season. So I just went to Las Vegas for the 11th annual Marijuana Business Conference, MJ BizCon, and did way too many interviews, 28 interviews, which is less than like the 36 I did last year. And next year, I'm going to do maximum 12. Just way too much work. Some of the audio just unfortunately didn't kind of come out. It was way too loud. So it's a lot of work and frustrating. And we're just going to have, my day job is getting busy. That's really what it is. Busiest I've been in a really long time, and that's good news. So I'm working with the hedge fund, and we're developing this app, and it alerts people when to buy and sell crypto. It's called Toro Alerts. It's awesome. And so, you can download that and be alerted when to buy, when to sell. It's pretty cool. But I am busy, and so I got to do a lot less work. I've also tried to format it differently. The way I do it changes year over year. So now I'm doing 8 to 15 minute reviews on a particular topic, subject, more about things that other people aren't covering, reports and statistics and data. But in the beginning, I tried to kind of create this story, and it ended up being way too long. It was like 45 minutes or something. We started off with the intro and then went into events. People don't really care about events too much. I'm going to put out an MJ Biz Con review recap, and it'll do terrible. People don't really care. But we talk about past events or an upcoming event, and then something stupid like ripped from the headline. Somebody got stoned and fell asleep, or something dumb. People thought that was not a good look for the industry, but whatever. Got to throw the good in the bad. We talked about other news and global cannabis stuff. We did a top 10 list for a while, but that was like a pay to play. Red, White, and Bloom was in like every story. It got pretty annoying. And so the top 10 was a short-lived segment. Another short-lived segment was product reviews. We got a couple of guys in Washington and would buy the same thing and all talk about it. So we talked about the product and the packaging and the everything about the product itself, inside and out. And people didn't really care. I think people really want to I don't know what people want. I don't. Maybe they want to just watch hot chicks smoke weed. I don't know. But then there's Jolie Oli, that people watch for some reason. Different strokes for different folks. I'd rather talk about pot stocks. We talked about mergers and acquisitions, cannabis IPOs, what was trending, the future of cannabis. I like talking about automation. We'll do another podcast about pre-roll automation that we saw at MJ BizCon. We just did one about graph of the week and the consolidation that you can anticipate. We used to do like shout outs to people, talk about like insider only events like the Zodiac or Shangri-La, some of these other parties. But inevitably it always comes back to like pre-rolls. So I did a huge video, got maybe 50,000 views, which is a lot for me. And people really wanted to look at how to make, joint rolling machines. And it's here. We went to Vegas and, I rolled a whole ounce. And as you can see, these are cylindrical. So I brought an ounce with me. We rolled them. It's amazing. It's called Roll Pros, the Blackbird by Roll Pros. We'll do crystal ball predictions. Those are always fun, looking at year-end stuff. Of course, we're pulling some data and analytics, as always. There's a whole playlist of hemp and cannabis automation. If you're into that, we'll be uploading a new video shortly on pre-rolls and what we saw at MJ BizCon. There are a lot of investors running around trying to figure out how to get involved with Maryland and Missouri and all these new states, New York. And so if you're in the business, or if you want to be in the cannabis industry, there's a whole playlist on an investor pitch deck review. We've done almost 50 videos on there. So definitely want to check that out. Let's look at some of the more noteworthy videos that we've done in the past. One of the more nervous videos. You got to sign in for this one to confirm your age, which is stupid. It's really just a hypochlorous solution to kill mold, mildew, spider mites, things like that. But I was really nervous. So one of the first times behind the camera, and I was in an illegal grow too that this guy let me get in. It was weird. Anyways, I was pretty nervous to do that. It's funny looking back on it now. One of the videos I got the most hate on in the comments, it's actually kind of funny. You should take a look at it. Is people like, oh my God, have you got this $420 blunt lit yet? But they don't get it. Like I spent $420 on a blunt. Of course, I'm going to find the biggest, stupidest lighter I can find and take a really long time to light it. Have you ever seen like Peter from the Family Guy when he skins his knee and it takes him forever to like get over it? Like people are just like, come on, light it already. I think it's kind of funny. But I guess it's even more funny that people don't get it. Some of the more cringe-worthy videos in the very beginning, in like early 2019, late 2018, when I'm just reading articles, it's pretty bad. I haven't deleted them because I just kind of want to keep them there for just to show the progress, I guess, that I've made. I don't know, or a good laugh, one of the two. Lots changed over time. Thumbnails were pretty crazy and lot going on, and I've just tried to really simplify the thumbnails and pictures over time, make them more streamlined, whatever. But not only that, but I had a co-host for a while, and some things are good for the show, some aren't. So we've kind of just moved on. Don't have a co-host on the Talking Hedge anymore, but I am the co-host of the Green Rush, produced by Pro Cannabis Media. So you have to go and follow them. One of the craziest interviews I did was with Chuck Warner of Cannabis and Tech Today. I was at the podcast studio. There was construction above because some drunk driver drove into an attorney's office, and they were like hammering and drilling. I called Chuck Steve or something stupid. It was really, really crazy trying. I should have just canceled it. Other things that have changed, I used to do panels. So I'd have a panel discussion at the World Trade Center. There'd be 3-4 guests that I had. One of the last ones I did was on extracts. So Jim Macoso of Lucid Oils, who was a speaker at MJ BizCon this last year. He was there. I think there was a couple other people that were supposed to be there and ended up not showing up. But we had a green screen behind us, and we're at the World Trade Center, and it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work to do panels. And so I did 3 panels during Hemp Fest, and this is the third one on the third day. And that was the last panel I've put together. As I mentioned, we also did a marathon, 3 dozen interviews in 2021 at MJ BizCon. So they're 15 minutes. So for an hour, I do 2 hours, take a 2-hour break, and then 2 more hours. So 16 people, then another 16 people 16 people in one day. So at 8 people, and then another 8 people, and then did that another time the next day. So I didn't learn from my mistakes in 2021. So I ended up doing another 28 interviews this year, and we'll do less than half of that next year. I'll do maybe 4 a day. So 1 hour, 4 15-minute interviews tops. And it's just too much work, too much going on. You miss out a lot. And people don't make it, they don't tell you. So you're just kind of sitting there. Probably a third of the people either couldn't find me, didn't make it, whatever. One of the playlists I really like that don't get a lot of views is the automated investing. C3 is the hedge fund that I work with. We use artificial intelligence, machine learning with predictive analytics to alert our customers of when to buy and sell using the Toro Alerts app. The C3 hedge fund does it automatically. It's buying and selling automatically, which is pretty cool. The returns were phenomenal. And those cannabis stock prediction videos that we did, I thought were fun, but not so much on the views. And I never did this for the views. So it wasn't really about that. It was more about meeting people and just getting a message across. One of the more impressive interviews, I've talked to a lot of people, and there's a lot of really cool interviews, but this guy kind of blew me away. He went to my high school. I didn't even know it. Kelly Ogilvy, one of the founders at Deep Cell, and he just kind of developed this brand. His path to Ruby Sugar and all of these other brands it was pretty unique. So long story short, he worked as a liaison to the governor's office. The state government didn't want to do anything with cannabis. And so he was like, well, I see where this is going. I'm out. And got some money from friends and family and started this business. Doesn't really get involved with the cannabis industry. I never seen him at events. He's in Seattle. I'm in Seattle. I never see him. He doesn't advertise or show up, or he's not a face, but he is a player. Where he's all over the world. He's a player to be recognized, and he's just humble about it. So he's not at organizations, whatever, but he is running around doing his thing. On the flip side, one of the more interviews I was looking forward to was Lofa Tatupu, former Seattle Seahawk, who has a CBD company called Zone In, and that helped him. He still feels like he could play for the Seattle Seahawks if he was using CBD back then, before he tore his pec muscle and some other stuff. But this was an interview I was really looking forward to because of that active cannabis lifestyle and the professionalism and the voice that he had and things that he could do. Maybe the more famous video, though, Tommy Chong, I talked to him for a whole hour. Very personable guy, very easy to talk to. And I didn't really know. I didn't think I was going to take the interview because I didn't really know what I was going to talk to him about. But he's a really easy guy to talk to. Talked about his history and some really kind of intriguing things early on in his life that I had no idea about, and how he got involved and how he got seen. He was it was a pretty cool guy to talk to. Another segment I really like doing that nobody cares about is the pot shop crawls. I do 20 stores on 420 every year, kind of do a little response about how, everyday low prices are like 2 years down the road from what I see on 420. So you go and see the sales price, and then 2 years later, that's the everyday low price. So we went to Vegas pot shop crawl. We've done Vegas, we've done San Francisco, Chicago, New York, Oregon, Portland, Seattle, Tacoma. I don't think we've done Vancouver, BC yet, but we should. But again, nobody really cares. Maybe one of the cooler things is that we're in the University of Kentucky syllabus. So cannabis drop shipping, for whatever. This video is super embarrassing. I'm just literally reading an article. That's it. It's in a college campus curriculum. So shout outs to University of Kentucky. Don't forget to follow me on Pro Cannabis Media. I'll be a co-host every Friday from 4 to 6 Eastern, and doing that live every Friday. So check out Pro Cannabis Media. For those that have stuck around this far, I will tell you kind of why I'm getting out of the industry entirely. Basically, I sold a CBD bandage company to the world's second largest Band-Aid manufacturer. started working with the hedge fund, developed an app, and feel kind of empowered to help people financially, especially now with the price crunch and inflation and everything that's just making really people struggling. The word is out on cannabis. I've done my deed 10 years. And I feel like right now I can empower people to make better financial decisions. And so that's kind of where I'm leaning towards, but I've sort of been pushed a little bit. So while my day job is making me busier than ever, there's things that have just pissed me off about this industry. Social media drops cannabis industry like flies. Facebook and YouTube and then Instagram, everyone dropping cannabis, everybody. And so it was an issue. So everybody in the cannabis industry was like, oh, great, they're dropping us. And then come along Trump, and people lost their minds and didn't really care about, quote unquote, freedom of speech anymore. And I understand these platforms are private; they can do whatever they want, but you know, I just don't let these bureaucrats restrict my ability to communicate. And it upset me that the cannabis industry would do that and just kind of sabotage everything that we worked so hard for in the industry to try to get our point across. They're going to let this this bureaucrat kind of destroy it for everybody. So I'm on 40 plus platforms with social media like Parler, Brighteon, and that's too far right for some people. They whatever. The cancel culture is real, and I've been demonetized. I've been shadow banned. I can't say anything. And then when I do try to go on a platform that allows for for my views to be seen, my videos to be seen, then all of a sudden I love Hitler and I hate babies, and I don't get it. So that's unfortunate. I still remember the t-shirts that said, cannabis is safer than big pharma. That's the reason I came to the cannabis industry. I was running from big pharma. I had problems with my shoulder. I was supposed to play college football. I hated stoners. I was a jock. And then my life changed dramatically. I ran away from big pharma and found cannabis, but I feel like there's a lot of other people that are just get highs and carpetbaggers, people that just want to smoke weed and make some money. If you want to be an unapologetic capitalist, you want to make some money, that's cool. Just say it. But these fake ass altruistic people that, it's put a divide in the industry, I think, and kind of made me feel like I wasn't really a part of the Canna-Fam anymore. I really feel like that died. Canna-Fam died in 2020. Like when you want to talk about cannabis being safer than big pharma, and then run around and cry because you're so elated that you got the shot. Great. You can pretend you're an advocate and you're altruistic and all these other things, but really when the shit hits the fan, you're going to run to big pharma. And that was surprising to me. Maybe I'm naive as hell. I just thought the cannabis industry was in it for the same reason I was, and they're not. And so having to take a COVID test to go to a party, in 2020, no thanks. Even 2022, MJ BizCon, going to some of these Grasslands party, no cannabis allowed. They're going to kick you out, alcohol only. Nah, I'm good. I'm done with that too. Like if you want to have a cannabis party with no cannabis, I will not be there. I'll leave you with a couple of options. There's cannabis legalization news. Tom and Miggy, both good guys to listen to, went out and visited Tom in Chicago. Miggy lives down the street in Seattle. And then, of course, I'll be on the Pro Cannabis Media. You can find them at Pro Cannabis Media. But this is the 5th and final season. A lot less videos. Everything's going to be live. And then, this time next year, you're going to have to catch me on Pro Cannabis Media because I'm out. With that, we're going to roll this one up. I'm Josh Kincaid. This is The Talking Hedge. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, or don't, and I'm out. Don't forget to smash that like button on your way out and check out these other videos that we've got.